Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. I want every one of you to type present in your chat section. Well, in our previous class, we were discussing about digital transmission through band limited channels. And we were specifically into digital pulse amplitude modulation transmission through band limited baseband channels. So before we continue, let me share my screen. So here, just a minute. Okay, well, in our previous class, we were discussing about digital pulse amplitude modulation transmission through band limited baseband channels. So for which we did consider this block diagram that which contains both transmitting part, the channel and the receiving section. So back in the transmitter part section, we are having, so because it's baseband transmission where input signals are directly converted to some pulses, because in pulse amplitude modulation, will take the aid of pulses that which are varying in amplitude. So every message symbol over here will be mapped onto a specific amplitude level. So because it's pulse amplitude modulation, we'll be varying the amplitude of these pulses. Or in other words, I can map. Okay, well, guys, here what we can do is we can map all these symbols. We can map these symbols onto a specific amplitude value. And these in turn, like let's assume that I'm having 10 number of symbols, symbol 1, symbol 2 till symbol 10, and I can map all these symbols onto a specific amplitude value. So, and any two symbols are not having same amplitude value. We got to make sure that any two symbols or any symbols that which are in this category should not be associated with same amplitude values, or else there will be some conflicts between those two symbols. So here each symbol has to be mapped onto a unique amplitude value. So here what we have done is we have mapped symbol 1 to 1 volt, symbol 2 to 2 volt. So we are trying to map all these symbols to their respective amplitude values. So here we'll be feeding these amplitude values as input to this pulse generator, or here we'll be calling it as transmitting filter. We'll be calling this as transmitting filter, that which is associated with an impulse response of G subscript capital T of T. So this is the impulse response. So where here it generates, let's say if my input voltage is 1 volt, it will generate a pulse that which is associated with an amplitude value equal to 1 volt. Or else if my input is symbol 5, or in other words 5 volts, this unit transmitting filter will produce a pulse having an amplitude value equal to 5 volts. Likewise, if my input symbol is 10 volt, we'll be feeding 10 volts as input to this transmitting filter, where it generates a pulse having amplitude value equal to 10 volts. So this is how we'll be transmitting. And let me remind you that we are not taking aid of, and all these pulses generate at a gap of t seconds. So for every t seconds, we'll be generating these pulses, and ultimately we'll end up with train of such varying amplitude pulses, And let me remind you that here we are not using any sort of carrier waveform that which is mathematically like cos 2 pi fct. So thereby we can call this as baseband transmission. Here we'll call this as baseband transmission because we are trying to directly convert our message signal in terms of some pulses. And in turn, we'll be feeding these pulses onto our channel. In turn, we'll be transmitting these pulses that which are of varying amplitude values via our channel. And in turn, we'll model our channel. We have modeled our channel as having as a block that which is associated with the transfer function C of F. And in turn, here we can think of our output H of T. H of T can be thought of as output of this channel, that which in turn gets added up with this noise component N of T, because this noise is of additive white Gaussian kind. So thereby these two gets added up and will be received as R of T, where R of T is our received signal, that which will be in turn fed to our receiving filter. So this entire thing can be thought of as demodulator stage, where it consists of lot of blocks in it, where the very first block is the receiving filter, and that is associated with the transfer function G, capital G subscript R of F, where R is used to denote that this block, this entire block belongs to the receiving end, whereas this transmitting filter was associated with this subscript capital T, where this capital T denoted that this block belonged to the transmitter section. So that's the only agenda behind using this subscript, just in order to differentiate between transmitting filter and receiving filter. So this receiving filter in turn will output a signal Y of T, where this signal Y of T will be made to pass through a sampler, where it will be sampled at every T seconds, and in turn it will be made to pass through detector stage, where will in turn end up with our output data. And this output data should resemble our input data. So ideally we expect that to happen, but practically there are some issues. And in this session, we'll be going through all of those issues. So what leads to that issues, and we'll try to mathematically capture each and every other concept. So here in our previous class, we did also got to know that this output V of T, whatever we are getting over here, so why is this expressed in terms of summation starting from n, from minus infinity to positive infinity, an into G subscript T of T minus NT. So here we have got this expression because, so let me try to brush up the concepts once again, because these are very essential for me to continue in this session. Okay, so this V of T is the output. So whatever output that I'm getting out of this transmitting filter, we'll call this as V of T. And what am I having in this V of T? So this V of T is nothing but train of varying pulses. It consists of train of pulses that which are having varying amplitude values. It need not be in the same order. Because if I feed, if my starting symbol is somewhere in between symbol 6, then initially I'll be getting some pulse that is associated with 6-volt amplitude value. So here it need not be in the same order, ascending or descending. So it's all about the kind of symbols that which we feed. So it will all be in a jumbled fashion. Okay, so this V of T, what I mean to explain to you is that, so this V of T is nothing but train of pulses that which are of varying amplitude values. So thereby I can think of this V of T as equal to, so because all these pulses, so I'm having pulses, and in turn I'll represent these pulses with G subscript capital T of T minus NT, where this capital T denotes that for every T seconds, I'll end up with a new pulse. For every T seconds, I'll be getting, or in turn, this transmitting filter will generate a new pulse. Or in other words, for every T seconds, we'll be feeding a new symbol value. For every T seconds, we'll be feeding a new symbol onto this transmitting filter, that which in turn generates a pulse. And it is generating pulse at every T seconds. So thereby, in order to indicate that, we have used this capital T. And how many such number of pulses I might end up with over a period of time, starting from n equal to negative infinity to positive infinity, I'll end up with NT. I'll be ending up with NT number of such pulses. So thereby, Here, in general, because we are trying to generalize it, we have used a general equation where Vt is equal to summation where n starts from negative infinity to positive infinity. So it's infinite. So it's not a finite kind of train of pulses. So this train of pulse starts somewhere from negative infinity and it ends at somewhere at positive infinity. So this is the pulse part. This is the pulse part, and this is getting multiplied by this pulse part is getting multiplied by, because all these pulses are associated with varying amplitude values. So I got to associate it with an, where an represents amplitude value of all these pulses. And let me remind you that this, because it's having subscript n, that which indicates that it's not same amplitude value. All these pulses will be having their own amplitude values. So in general, we can think of the output of this transmitting filter V of t as equal to summation starting from negative infinity to positive infinity an times g subscript capital T of t minus nt. So this is the output of our transmitting filter. Now let's see what happens to this. Now let's see what happens to this when we feed this output. When we feed this output V of t via this channel, what happens when we feed this V of t via our channel? And this channel is associated what? It is associated with an impulse response equal to C of t or so this is in time domain. But if I were to coin the same term in frequency domain, I'll use transfer function C of f. Okay. Now, by now we know that this is not just a regular kind of channel, but it is acting like a linear filter. It is acting like a linear low pass filter. It is acting like a low pass filter. Low pass filter, that which is having bandwidth equal to BC. So any frequency component that which is beyond BC will be attenuated in our channel. So thereby here, let's see how exactly we'll end up with our output H of t. So here, let me just rewrite this block diagram. Because right now we have got this equation. Right now we have got this expression. So what I'll do is, I'll write the first block as it is. Just for comparison purpose, I'll be writing the very first block as it is, that is our transmitting filter. So to this transmitting filter, what is our input? What input I'll be feeding? I'll be feeding my binary. I'll be feeding my input data. And because all these symbols are being mapped onto certain amplitude values, and these certain amplitude values are nothing but our a subscript n. So instead of directly writing input data, because right now we have got some equation, so I can feed an as my input. I can feed an as my input. So where this an indicates different amplitude values. And in turn, the output that which I'm getting out of this transmitting filter will be in turn made to go through a channel. It will be made to go through a channel. And this channel is associated with transfer function C of f. It is associated with the transfer function C of f. And here I'll be getting the output as equal to H of t. Here the channel output, I'll call it as H of t. And this channel, because this is associated with additive wide Gaussian.
Oh. Correct. 148
46 4 Jane 18T 046.
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Mic.
Okay, not a problem. Okay. So here I'll be getting this h of t as our channel output, but this channel is associated with this noise, that which we represent as n of t, and in turn this h of t added with n of t will in turn results in received signal r of t. It in turn results in r of t. Now, right now I'm having two blocks. Right now I'm having two blocks that which are cascaded together. Right now I'm having two blocks that which are cascaded together. Now I want you guys to just recall your control systems course. I want you guys to just recall your control system course, and I want you guys to answer me this question. Now, let's say there are two blocks, one associated with a gain of G1 and the other one associated with a gain of G2. We call these sort of blocks as cascaded blocks. Now tell me, if I'm having this sort of blocks, so this can be in turn be minimized to what? This in turn can be minimized to what? Where I can think of this as my input and this as my output. And this is the direction in which the signal is flowing. I want you guys to answer this question. So what happens to these sort of blocks? Yes, Prasad, that's the right answer. So, no. Prasad, you have got the right answer. But 04 will end up with this answer only if we are having feedback, that too negative feedback. But here is, we are having no negative feedback over here. We are having no negative feedback. Your answer would have been valid if this were our diagram. So wherein I'll be using some summator over here, where I'll be having G1 in my forward path and G2 in my feedback part, and in turn this G2 will be fed as this path will be associated with negative sign. So because of which I can call this as negative feedback. So then we would have got this as equal to G1 G2 1 minus 1 plus G1 into G2. We could have done this for negative feedback, but right now it's a cascaded kind of blocks that which are like in series. So if that is the case, then the overall gain of this entire block can be thought of as G1 into G2. That's it. It can be thought of as G1 into G2. So let's apply the same concept over here. Where we all know that this transmitting filter. So let's jump back. So let me not write this in frequency domain. Let me change this to time domain itself. Just a minute. So because we want each and every other block to be in time domain, so instead of keeping this channel in frequency domain, let me just bring in it back to time domain. So where channel is associated with an impulse response C of t, and we already know the impulse response of this transmitting filter, that is G subscript capital T of t. Now, because these two are in series, the if I combine these two, or if I were to rewrite the same thing in frequency domain, so this is in what domain? This is in time domain. So whatever I have written, so this entire thing is in time domain. So whereas if I flip the coin such that I get each and everything in frequency domain, in frequency domain, this small g gets converted to capital G, capital T of f. And here the other block that I'm having, that is channel. So it gets converted to capital C of F. So this is what happens. So this is what happens in frequency domain. Okay, and here I can call this output as capital H of F. I can call this channel output as capital H of F. So here in frequency domain, so the overall gain here, it gets multiplied. So what happens in frequency domain? They both get multiplied. They'll both get multiplied. But whereas in, or in turn, I can say that I can equate. In turn, I can equate H of F as equal to GT of F into C of F. So if I were to make the same equation, in time domain, then it would have been equal to small h of t in turn equal to GT of t convolved with C of t. So this is in time domain. So this equation is in time domain. And this equation is in frequency domain. That's the only difference. So convolution operation in time domain gets converted to multiplication and frequency domain, and vice versa also holds good. Okay. Now here to this H of F, what is happening? To this H of F, or in other words, H of t, noise component is getting added up, and in turn, this results in R. So H of t plus N of t in turn results as R of t. So R of t, I can make out one more equation where R of t is equal to H of t plus N of t, where H of t is the channel output, and this H of t in turn comprises of what? This in turn comprises of R pulses. It in turn comprises of R pulses, or transmitting filter impulse response. Now what I can do is I can substitute. So in place of H of t, what I'll do is, or in other words, in place of H of t, I can substitute this entire thing. GT of t convolved with C of t plus N of t. I hope this is very straightforward, where in place of this H of t, so let me change my color. Okay, here in place of this H of t, because H of t is in turn equal to this entire thing, because this is equal to convolution between GT of t and C of t. So in place of this H of t, because H of t is in turn equal to this, I have just substituted this equation. Okay, that is what we have done. But what is this product or convolution? What is this convolution equal to? Can I have some quick answers in the chat? What is this convolution in turn equal to? What is this convolution in turn equal to? Can I have some quick answers in the chat? What is this? Let me take you back to this block diagram. So what is this? G of t in turn. So this G of t in turn associated with input. What is that? This thing, that is V of t. So here what we'll do is so we know what V of t is equal to. V of t is equal to summation starting from n equal to minus infinity to positive infinity of an dot gt of t minus nt. But the thing is, because this h of t is in turn equal to these two convolution operation. So here in place of this, what I'll do is, so here in this entire v of t, is again getting associated with what? C of t, because of which here I'll write the same part from here to here. I'll be writing the same thing. N equal to negative infinity to positive infinity of an. But instead of this gt, what I'll do is I'll write it as h of t minus nt. H of t minus nt plus n of t. That is the noise component. So this is what our received signal is equal to. I hope you are getting the steps over here. So what we have done is we have used the result that which we had got earlier, that is v of t, and in turn this v of t is equal to summation n starting from negative infinity to positive infinity of an times gt of t minus nt. So where all I'm trying to do is, because here in turn this g of t, whatever I'm getting over here, whatever v of t I'm getting over here, in turn, when made to pass through this channel, I'll be getting it in terms of h of t. So here, because of which we have written it as, so I have replaced this g with h. So this is our received signal equal to, this is what our received signal is equal to, such that here again, this t over here represents, we are getting new pulses for every t seconds gap, So what is r of t here? This is our received signal. That which is associated with this noise component n of t. So this is our noise component. So right now we are at what stage of this block diagram? Right now we have mathematically got what this r of t is equal to, and because we have got this r of t, we are at the doorsteps of our receiver unit. And we are trying to knock the door of this receiving filter. So we are standing somewhere over here. So right now we are done with all these blocks, and we have got our received signal in mathematically. And we are trying to knock the door of this, and let's see what further happens. So let me just rewrite the same block diagram where r of t will be made to go through this receiving filter. And this receiving filter is associated with impulse response g. Subscript should be r instead of t of t. Only thing is I'm trying to write it in time domain. So, and output of this, we'll call it as y of t, where y of t will be made to go through this sampler, where in order to get the timing information, we'll make use of the same symbol. We'll be extracting at what time to be sampled from the signal itself. So here we'll be extracting, or in turn we'll take one more tap. From the same output y of t, where we'll make it to go through this symbol timing estimator. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to sample this y of t, and this y of t itself is providing us with information about timing. So when it has to be sampled and all. So when this y of t is made to go through the sampler, and in turn we'll get this sampled y of t as equal to yk of t, where this capital T indicates we are trying to sample it at a gap of t seconds. For every t seconds, we'll obtain a new sample. And in turn, this will be made to go through this detector stage. It will made to go through this detector stage, where we'll make an estimate of our data. Or in turn, we here is where I'll be getting output data. So this is the thing. Now I want you guys to tell me what is this y of t equal to? Now, because of this, what is this y of t equal to? So obviously I'm making this R of t to pass to this receiving filter. So this y of t is nothing but equal to convolution operation, because right now I'm in time domain. So because of which I'm writing convolution. So it's convolution operation between my received signal R of t and impulse response of this receiving filter. So it's equal to R of t convolved with GR of t. But wait a minute, what is this R of t in turn equal to? Have I got that equation? Yes, we do have got that equation where R of t is in turn equal to summation an dot h of t minus nt. So let me substitute that. Let me substitute this entire thing in place of R of t. So this is equal to summation n starting from negative infinity to positive infinity an into h t minus nt. Sorry, I got to use capital T over here. Capital T plus nt, that is the noise component. Entire thing convolved with GR of t. So let me, because again this is a linear operator, so where g of t gets associated with our first term as well as with our second term. So in turn we'll end up with an dot h of t minus nt convolved with GR of t plus nt convolved with GR of t, where n starts from negative infinity to positive infinity. So this is the thing. Now here what I'll do is I can combine these two components, because this is just the amplitude part. So I can combine these two things. And this thing will lead to one more expression. This thing will, when combined, will lead to one more expression, and I'll call that as x of t minus nt, where this x of t has the contribution from transmitting filter, channel, and the receiving filter. So this entire thing is what, because we know that h of t was containing what in it? So this h of t was containing this gt, or the transmitting filter component. It was containing the transmitter filter component as well as the channel. What is the c of t? Impulse response of our channel. So this h of t was in turn containing the transmitting filter impulse response as well as the channel impulse response. And in turn, what is happening here? This h of t is in turn getting convolved with receiving filter's impulse response. So in turn, this leads to one more component where x of t can be thought of as, it has the contribution from what all things? I can think of it as equal to combination of three things. One is g, just a minute. So this x of t has contribution from the transmitting filter gt of t followed by channel impulse response C of t and receiving filter component GR of t. Okay. Let me write the rest of things. So here, let me call this combination. This is not that important. Let me call this combination as W of t. Let me call this combination as W of t. So finally, we are getting this Y of t as equal to this expression. Now this Y of t will be made to go through a sampler where we'll be sampling it at every t seconds, and we'll be getting a new sample after every t seconds. So thereby, because we are trying to sample it, at every t seconds. So where small t is in turn equal to m times capital T. So where this t indicates the sampling instant, where this capital T indicates the sampling instant, where this t indicates the pulses that which we were getting for every t seconds. Remember that. So in turn, when this is made to go through a sampler, so in turn I'll have it as equal to y m of t in turn equal to summation an x, where small t should be replaced with this mt minus nt plus wt. So over here, I can rewrite this as this. So let me consider a sample value out of this. So let me consider mth sample. That which is equal to y subscript m, and in turn this is equal to summation n starting from negative infinity to positive infinity of an x m minus n plus wm. So all I'm trying to consider